Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and to another video. Firstly, I wanted to apologise how stilted I sounded in my previous video. I was trying something new and I'd scripted out the entire video ahead of time and I was just reading the script and it sounded forced, it sounded scripted. So I've decided I'm not going to do that anymore. I have gone back to a bullet point system, which means that I can talk around the subjects. I know what I'm going to be talking about, so there's going to be a few more ums and ers and maybe a little bit more rambling, but it should flow a bit more naturally. In this video, I wanted to talk a bit about a question that I'd had. I posted a progress video of my thread painting of the bee eaters recently, and I uploaded a short of it as well. And on the shorts, I had a really good question asked. And the question was, isn't this just embroidery? So I thought this would actually be a perfect opportunity to explain how needle painting relates to other forms of embroideries and a little history of embroidery. And I've got to stress here, I am not an expert by any stretch of the imagination. I'm probably going to miss out a whole load of different forms of embroidery. I'm not going to be talking about wool work and that sort of needlework. But I just wanted to give a little bit of an explanation, a little bit of a history, and a bit of context to needle painting. To do that, we're going to have to go right back up to the top and talk about needlework as a whole. Needlework is the term that describes the simple act of making stitches on fabric using needle and thread. It doesn't have to be decorative, it can be functional. Embroidery is a form of needlework that involves using decorative stitches on fabric. Embroidery itself can take many different forms: needle painting, cross stitch, freestyle or modern embroidery, black, gold or red work, stump work, opus anglicanum, and more. Different forms of embroidery can be used together. For example, stump work's often used with needle painting. But there are some major differences between the various different forms. So needle painting, for example, is about making an image have a lifelike or have a painted look. Cross-stitch is actually believed to be the oldest form of embroidery in the world, and that's formed by using small crossed stitches on a whole fabric like Aida or on linen or even weave, something along those lines. Freeform or modern embroidery is what most people think about when the term embroidery is mentioned, and that's usually designs made up from lots of different types of stitches. Black, gold and red work are all done using black, gold or red thread, usually in a geometric or floral pattern. It's a very historic technique. It was particularly popular in the Tudor period. Catherine of Aragon, who was one of the wives of King Henry VIII, was often known to stitch black work on his sleeves. In fact, even when they were going through their divorce, she still stitched them on his shirts. Stump work, as far as I can tell, dates to about the 17th century. It uses an array of different materials and embroidery techniques to create a raised 3D image. It also has links to needle lace, which is another technique entirely. We'll probably be having its own video. I do want to do a video based on needle lace and needle lace, stump work, and opus anglicanum. I'm very interested in learning those. I'm just starting to learn them, so I'll talk about that later though. And finally, opus anglicanum, which is, other than cross stitch, it's the other oldest form of embroidery that I know. It was used on the Bayeux tapestry. It's similar to thread painting in a way, but rather than the long and short stitch, it uses couched stitches. Very, very, very popular in the medieval period. Like I say, there will be videos coming on black work, stump work, and opus anglicanum, as I'm just about to learn those. So I'll be bringing you along with me on that journey too. I hope that this gives a good answer to that question as to whether is this just embroidery. The answer is yes, in effect. It is embroidery, but not all embroidery is thread painting. And yeah, all thread painting is embroidery, but not all embroidery is thread painting. It's basically the simplest way it boils down to. Like I say, hope that gives a good answer to that question. Remember, please leave your questions and thoughts down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button while you're down there, so you don't miss my next upload. The more questions that people ask me, the more I have to talk about, and I love imparting my knowledge and sharing my skills, particularly in older crafts like this. So I'm just going to let the music play as I finish off this flower, but there is one thing that I did want to say. This is a shorter video than I probably wanted to put out. I really haven't had much time to craft this week, let alone film or record or plan videos. Recently I have been putting out one video a week, but I'm very, very keen to stress to myself and to you that I do not have and will not put on myself a set upload schedule. The YouTube side of it is as much of a hobby as the actual crafting itself, and I really don't want to get burnout or put pressure on myself to get those videos out once per week. Having said that, I am still glad that I managed to get this video out at least this week. And if there's one thing that I would like everyone to take away, myself and yourselves included, it's that self-care is so important. It's the most important thing. Don't let a hobby get in the way of your own mental health. And that's what I'm doing. I'm not going to stress if I don't get a video out every single week. So, that all being said, I'm going to let the music play just for the rest of this while I finish off this flower. And take care, keep crafting, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.